Hello and welcome back into Game On, the show here on News Channel 15, where we discuss everything going on in the world of video games. I'm your host, Bryce West, and today we have a pretty fun episode for you all. We're going to be talking about Starfield. It's the video game event of the year, so I'm pretty excited to get to discuss that here today. But first, we're going to be covering Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which just had their first or their only Nintendo Direct presentation the other day. Basically, they went through a lot of the game, and we got to see some of the new characters, some of the new worlds and stuff. So let's get right into it. So there's a ton of new characters. So we've already seen this in one of the previous trailers. We got to see Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, the usual suspects. But then we also saw Daisy as Princess Daisy as a playable character for the first time in a mainline Super Mario Brothers video game, which is really neat to see. I like seeing that they're finally bringing in some new characters diversifying it a little bit. I think that's really cool. And in this one, we also got to see that Toadette is playable, Blue Toad is playable. You're able to play as 4 Yoshis, and as well as Nabbit. Yoshi and the Nabbits are sort of a easy mode for younger players, and basically Yoshi has normal Yoshi abilities but can't get hit, and then Nabbit just can't get hit, neither of which can use power-ups. But speaking of power-ups, there's a ton of new power-ups. There's the elephant power-up that I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen online, where Mario and friends can turn into a giant elephant creature person, so that's pretty neat. It seems like with this power-up, you're able to hold water and different kinds of things. You can even ride Yoshi as an elephant with the elephant power-up, which causes some pretty hilarious things to ensue. But I think this is really neat. There's also a bubble power-up to where, he usually has the fireball power-up, but with this, you can throw bubbles, and then the enemy can be in a bubble, and then you can hop on the bubble to get up to a higher place, or you can just pop it and the enemy is destroyed or whatever. But I think that's really neat. I like seeing that they're doing other power-ups. I believe they've used bubble power-ups before, not necessarily with Mario, but I believe one of the Yoshis was able to use it in the past, and now everybody is able to use it. At least the main, the non-easy characters are able to use it, which I think is really cool. There's also a drill power-up, where you can drill into the ground or the ceiling and pass through enemies that way. I think that's really cool. I like how they're actually innovating the movement in this, because in 2D Mario games, ever since the very beginning, it's just been pretty much just go from left to right and then beat the level. I like seeing that they're doing some creative, new, different things with this. I think that's really cool. There's also the wonder mode, the wonder powers, where if you eat or if you inherit a wonder flower, the whole world changes, and sometimes it's a different perspective, or you turn into a boulder and you have to roll enemies down. I mean, it's honestly, it's really neat to see all of the different kinds of modes and power-ups they've added into this. This isn't just a normal run-of-the-road 2D Mario game that we've seen time and time again. They've actually done something different with it. I really enjoy this. There's new enemies, which I think is really cool. We've seen the same enemies over and over and over again, so it's really nice to see some new enemies. There's some that go really tall. There's like these sort of bird things that are able to break blocks and like rush towards the player. I think this is all really neat. I think this is really cool. There's a whole new world. It's the Flower Kingdom right next to the Mushroom Kingdom, which is really neat. One thing I wasn't super into was the fact that we have all of these playable characters, but they all pretty much play the same. If you're playing as Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad, Toadette, any of those, they're going to play the exact same, which in a way I get, because you don't want certain characters to have certain advantages and stuff, but it also kind of just makes the game feel super samey. Like in the past, like Mario games, like Luigi jumps higher, or Toad can run faster, or Peach can glide, you know, stuff like that. There's a reason to play these different characters, and this game unfortunately doesn't have that, which I think is kind of disappointing. But I also get how that could be appealing to somebody who's like, okay, I want to play as Blue Toad, but I don't want to necessarily go super fast because maybe they're not as skilled a player, or whatever. Like, I get that. Or I want to play as Peach, but I don't want it to be super easy because I can just glide all the time. I think that in itself makes sense, but I think there are better ways to still have each character have unique abilities, but also not be super overpowered one or the other. I wish they would have done more with that, but unfortunately they did not. But otherwise, this game looks absolutely amazing. I mean, we've had the new Super Mario Brothers video games from the DS to the Wii U and kind of Switch, and like I said previously, each game, I mean, there was little minor differences, but each game still pretty much looked and played the same. What I really like about this one is that it's completely new, all new ideas, all new look, all new everything. I really, really, really like this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the game actually pans out. It comes out in October, so yeah, Nintendo's got a lot going on here by the end of the year. Super Mario RPG also comes out later on this year. Fun fact, Nintendo actually has this really cool thing to where you can get a Nintendo game voucher, and basically what it is, it's like a $100 game voucher, and you can claim 2 games. So most games cost $60. So if you're wanting to get Super Mario Brothers Wonder and Super Mario RPG, that would usually cost around $120. But if you use this bundle that they have, this game voucher, you just pay the $100, you save 20 bucks off. So not sponsored by Nintendo or anything. I just think that's a really cool thing, since they got two pretty big Mario games coming out here soon. I think that it was a good thing to shout out, I guess. If you're looking to buy both, maybe you could save some money there. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and after this, we're going to be taking a look at some early reactions for Starfield. It's being poised as the video game event of the year. We'll see about that after this break.
One of the things we want all of our customers to make sure of is that if you do install a generator, make sure that you have a properly functioning transfer switch. And a transfer switch will make sure that the generator is disconnected from utility service, and that protects your equipment, and it also protects all of our crews working on the line. If a generator is not hooked up correctly, it can send power back through that transformer, and then it can be high voltage in a dangerous situation.
College doesn't have to start at an expensive school far away. You can save money and be close to home at Wabash Valley College. Many careers only require a 2-year degree or certificate. Or get your general education classes out of the way and transfer to a 4-year school. Wabash Valley College has programs in high-demand careers such as physical therapy assistant, advanced manufacturing, marketing, business management, nursing, and radio television. To find out more about Wabash Valley College, go to iecc.edu/WVC.
News Channel 15, winner of the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System Award for the nation's best community college TV station.
Welcome back into Game On, and today now we're going to be talking about Starfield, the video game event of the year. This game was announced forever ago. This is made by Bethesda, who has been famous for making the Skyrim or Elder Scrolls games, the Fallout games, and they've been working on this game for a while. It's finally here. Early reactions are in. There's sort of a early access open beta thing going on right now, and it's here. People are able to play it. So basically, Starfield is this big It was promoted to be this big open world space adventure. You can travel to all these different planets. You have your own spaceship and stuff like that. I mean, it's basically Skyrim, but in space. So that in itself, the idea is really cool. However, Bethesda has had a off and on track record, especially here recently with games such as Fallout 76, which was, at launch was just awful. I mean, stores were struggling to get it even off the shelves. They were basically having to give copies away. So Bethesda, their track record has been a little sketchy here lately. So how's Starfield? Well, I haven't had the chance to play the game, but according to people who have, it looks pretty. It looks pretty. I think the general consensus seems to be that there's a lot of stuff to do. There's so much content, which is really good. I mean, because that means you're getting your money's worth. I mean, you don't want to buy a game and then only play it for like 5 to 10 hours. I mean, some games, some smaller games, sure, yeah, but not like a full price $70 game, right? With Starfield. So it's nice to see that IGN released a story about it. I believe they said they played for 70 hours and there's still so much they haven't done. So I think that's really, really good for Starfield. I think it's nice to have that open world, so much to do, so much to see. I think it's nice to have games like that to where you could pay the $70 and have 100 hours or more worth experience out of that. I think that's well worth the money. And people have said, it looks, like I said before, it looks really good. The graphics are really decent. Bethesda, again, they're kind of, 50-50 on it. Like sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's, not as great. So it's nice to see that it seems to be that Starfield is holding up to the high standards that they have set for it. However, with this being a big open world game, it has a certain expectation. And from what I've been able to tell from early reactions online, it seems like, there's just a lot of like fast travel and stuff like that, which I think kind of defeats the whole purpose of having this big open world space game. You want to actually be able to go through space and not just be able to teleport to the planet that you want to go to. Like, I get why fast travel is a thing in video games, like, don't get me wrong, but I kind of, that is really disappointing to hear, because I don't know, like, you hear Starfield, big space open world, that's not just exploring the planets, right? That's exploring space. And the fact that you're just able to kind of just fast travel to wherever you want, I think that's kind of lame. I do. And don't get me wrong, I have no problem with them doing something like Star Wars, like, like a hyperspeed thing. Like, I get like why you have to have that kind of stuff, or else it would take literally forever to get anywhere in the game. I get it. But also, like, I think it should be somewhat limited. Like, if you're in this certain area, you should only be able to fast travel to a certain amount of other areas, I think it really hinders the exploration of the game, which seems to be the big selling point. That's what they want you to do. They want you to explore this world. They want you to explore the outer space, the different planets and stuff. And yes, it's cool that they're emphasizing, okay, you can fast travel to this planet. I just think it's just kind of, it really hinders the exploration. And don't get me, I think you can choose to just like travel, but it seems to be that like the game really doesn't reward you that much for doing that. You might as well just fast travel to the planet. There's no benefit to just traveling there normally. So I think that's, a little disappointing, but we'll see. I don't know. Starfield seems like a game to where they could just keep updating it forever with new content and different things. It could be something like Fallout 76, to where it's like a live service game, to where they keep, bringing in new stuff. Hopefully better, but we'll see about that. With that being said, that's going to wrap up things here today on this edition of Game On. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care.